Hello everybody, and welcome to the first game of the NGS for the entire season. Now today we're going to be starting in Division E between Crimson Cyber Squad and 30 Seconds to Mosh. Now, we do have new divisions this season, and Division E is as follows. Oh, whoops. I changed the wrong graphic. One moment. Boom, easy. So Division E is going to be a double round robin division. So each team will play each other 2 times. In the future, I will be showing standings over here. But currently the way things are, this is the first game. Obviously everyone's at 0-0. It's a completely blank schedule. Anything can still happen. And this is a league of 6 teams. And I believe the top 4 will go to the playoffs. Now today it's going to be the Crimson Cyber Squad versus the 30 Seconds to Mosh. Oh, 1 second. Now, the map pick has already been done. And we've had 2 bans on both sides. And they did it kind of alphabetically, as it turns out. Tomb of the Spider Queen and Sky Temple have been banned away. And then Battlefield of Eternity and Brax's Holdout have been banned away by 30 Seconds to Mosh. And the first map is going to be Alterac Pass. Now we should be getting into the game very shortly, but it's gonna be an exciting day because after this series, we're going to be going to Division B West. So stick around, but we are in draft number 1. Now, the meta has definitely shifted a little bit between seasons. There have been, I believe, 2 or even maybe 3 balance patches between NGS Season 18 and NGS Season 19, which is incredible that we can even say, considering, well, this game has been abandoned a little bit, but the janitors have been busy, and they've come up with some very interesting changes. And specifically, it's going to be entertaining to see how it affects specifically the lower divisions like Div E. Because Johanna has been absolutely pick ban all of Season 18. And she has gotten a decently sized nerf, at least on her old main build. So with the Shield Glare build, it is definitely a lot weaker. You have to manage the mana better. And just in general, Johanna's power level has gone down a little bit. But we do have the first bans coming out right now. We have Rhaegar getting banned away by 30 Seconds to Mosh. And Diablo getting banned away by the Crimson Cyber Squad. Gonna be interesting to see where else they go with this. And this already should show, like, things have changed. Johanna used to be like, if you're not picking her, you are banning her if you are not first pick. Right now, they're still going to be waiting. And it's going to be Muradin getting banned away. So 2 tanks already taken out. 1 healer. Rhaegar still quite powerful. And out of the other main changes, Zul'jin's gotten changed. I don't even know if it's a buff or a nerf. I think a lot of people are still undecided. But the base... Oh, Johanna is still going to get banned away. So 3 tanks actually taken out of the pool. But going back to what I was saying. Zul'jin's basic attacks have gotten quite a bit stronger to start the game. But each stack gives a lot less damage. And there's a cap to how much Zul'jin can stack. So definitely stronger in the early game, might fall off a little bit in the late game. But it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know if Zul'jin will be picked up this game or in any game today. But it is something I definitely want to keep an eye out for the rest of the season. Now, Born to Shine will lock in the Anduin. Anduin also got a little bit of a nerf, though I believe that was more towards the end of Season 18. Overall, just slightly tuned numbers. Not too big of a change. Overall, Anduin's still very powerful healer, just slightly worse. As the Varian Stukov combo gets locked in by the Crimson Cyber Squad, Tonli and Code Monkey gonna be ready to get those pickoffs. And that's exactly what you want to do on that composition. Whenever you're doing a Varian Stukov, you're looking to grab one person, taunt them, and burst them down as fast as possible. Have the lurking arm over top, make it a lot harder to counterplay. Now Jaina and Garrosh going to get locked in for the captain, and Barfanugan. That'll be a fun one to pronounce. But it's going to be an extremely interesting composition to play into because while Stukov and Varian, if they find someone, they can absolutely blow them up. You will need some DPS with it, but most people will have some kind of burst DPS with it regardless. And Varian and Stukov will deal a lot of damage on their own to begin with. But Anduin does change things a little bit. That leap of faith can be used to kind of stop someone from getting taunted like that. It's an easy cleanse, and not only is it a cleanse, but it also pulls them away from the danger. It kind of prevents them from being inside of the silence, etc., etc. But the cooldown for it is longer than the taunt. So it really depends on how those abilities are going to be used. Now, Ragnaros and Blaze are going to be our two bans, but the lock-in coming in right now going to be the Falstad and the Hogger for Kotunas and Exturks. Falstad going to help with that cross-map pressure. And on Alterac Pass, it is a very tall map. Having that global really helps out a lot. Especially once the camps start getting contested, you're going to need space to try and soak up. But at the same time, you don't want to go too far away from the objective. But it takes a while to take that objective, makes it a bit more complicated. Now Leoric and Deathwing going to get locked in by Raka and Hunter X. And I really like those two picks. With the Wraithwalk and Deathwing always being unstoppable just by default as the character, there are less and less targets that are good for Tonli to go onto. And especially with Garrosh being able to boulder toss the allies as well, realistically you have to try and find an angle onto either Anduin or Jaina. And even Jaina in the future gets Ice Block. It's going to be a little bit difficult to play for Crimson Cyber Squad, I believe. And Orion going to lock in the Tychus. Tychus, very powerful hero, very good into high HP. It's a very strong hero. And especially with Deathwing and Leoric, two very high HP heroes, that extra little bit of burn damage from the trait is really going to come out swinging. I think I still favor 30 seconds to Mosh, but let's find out who wins at game number 1. All right, well, we are just getting into game number 1 between Crimson Cyber Squad and 30 seconds to Mosh. Now, it is going to be Alterac Pass. It is one of those taller maps. And one thing I always found interesting, though I've never actually seen anything really change because of it, all the side lanes, like the mid lane towers, they are even. But in the top lane, the red side is a little bit more north, and the blue side is a little bit more south. And same in the bottom lane as well. And this does kind of open up more space around the camps when defending on the top side for red and then on the bot side for blue. So it is a little bit of an interesting change as both teams now grouping to the mid lane. Hunter X immediately dives in just to get that first move. And the sprays are coming out by both these teams. They are grouping together, but neither side wants to commit. It is a little bit harder for Crimson Cyber Squad to go in. Varian, while is a very solid tank, especially at pickoffs, does require that level 4 before getting that taunt ability. And without taunt, isn't quite as good. Oh, but Tonli is going to get thrown back and into the chastise, stun up, and oh, the heal comes out just in time. But now they do have the stun onto Farfetch'd, but Tonli down to 80 HP, but just barely is able to stay alive. Very close to a first blood, and very good toss coming out of Farfetch'd. Excellent play, but they were able to survive. They're able to heal back up, and they're going to be able to start soaking up the XP. They did not give up first blood. As the camps start getting taken down, Exurk soloing it for the blue team, and the captain of Born to Shine taking it together for 30 seconds to Mosh. Now, the lane assignments are a little bit different because of that. It's going to be Code Monkey and Tonli together over in the mid lane, while Farfetch'd was alone there. And Kotunas is 1v1 against Hunter X. And incidentally, it is frequent flyer, so it is going to be that auto attack build coming out of the Falstad. So the longer this game goes, this Falstad is going to get more and more powerful, infinite scaling with the autos, and I think that's a good call against a team that has a lot of base HP. The hammering build is good for taking down squishies, but when everyone is super tanky, there's a tank and 2 high HP bruisers over on the side of 30 seconds to Mosh. The auto attack build is definitely stronger. Now Ryan and Raka just stat checking each other. Ryan is going to dash away. Raka definitely comes out on the top of this trade. as an interesting offlane setup where it is the DPS over in the bot lane and Xtrix. Typically you see the Hogger over in the solo lane, but is grouping in with the main team right now. Does have a lot more burst potential in the early game, so that could be partially the reason for it. And now the level 4 talents have come out, so Taunt is now available. And it's going to be a very big ability for this variant to have. And now they can definitely start looking for picks, but Taunt's going to have to get a little bit of an interesting angle. And it has to be on either very specific targets, or it has to be on targets that are, well, kind of alone. They don't have any help nearby. But right now, 30 seconds to Mosh. They're doing a pretty good job of just grouping together. As Orion and Raka trading once again, but Raka has help. But will be able to dash away just before the skill shots do land. Orion going to slowly but surely take down this wave. And the prisoner camp is going to be spawning. Now, Xtrix waiting for the spawn immediately to take out the siege camp. Going to be able to get started on that a little bit earlier. As level 6's the XP lead right now is non-existent. Both teams are basically dead even right now. Gonna take... It will go back and forth a little bit, but when it's this close, it really doesn't matter. But now at 8 stacks on Frequent Flyer, or I should say 8 bonus damage, more than 8 stacks. And Varian also trying to stack up a little bit on that Lion's Maw. But it is a little bit of a lull in the action as both teams probably still trying to get level 7. The siege camp has been taken and Born to Shine actually waiting. And this is an interesting move because the whole reason for that is so that this siege camp pushes a little bit further. And it's actually easier to push in when you're kind of rubber banding it. When you have the enemy siege camp closer to your towers. Because then you can clear it out easier and safer. It's harder for the enemy team to walk in. And so as you can see, the captain is just completely clearing it on their own. But Xtrix and Tonley can't really walk up. They can use a couple of their abilities. But at the end of the day, the captain is definitely going to be able to outpush them. And now they can have a little bit of priority with this siege camp. And now what are they going to do with this priority? It is definitely a thought out plan. And as expected, they are going straight to the camp. Now it is going to take 30 seconds. And it doesn't seem like they want to commit onto it just yet. They are walking up now. They see Tonley. Gonna get blocked off a little bit. Born to Shine is getting ready. No taunt coming out quite yet. Raka has joined the fray. Orion's actually pretty low. So this will definitely make things harder, but Code Monkey does get pulled. But before the Shatter Earth comes, the taunt comes out as well. Then just a little bit of poke going out both waves. But 30 seconds to Mosh definitely seem to be the winners of that exchange. But not enough of a win that they can continue pushing for this objective. They do get first move towards bottom. They're going to be able to clear out this wave, get the push in. Orion should be able to clear this no problem as Tonley actually trying to get from behind. They're looking together. Code Monkey's here as well, but spotted out by Born to Shine. And they're onto the captain. The taunt does land, but not enough. They do have the lurking arm for the silence, but now they're able to throw Orion back in first blood, going over to 30 seconds to Mosh. And that boulder toss into Earth Shatter. Just such a strong combo from Farfanugan. Sorry, it's going to take me a little bit before I'm good at saying that name. Now the captain will be able to start that channel, and the capture has begun. And they hold it for 30 seconds. Tonley does get thrown. Gets hit by the Chastise, but there's the taunt and the silence. The lurking arm kind of helping Tonley stay alive for longer. Baraka still trying to run through, but will not have the move speed. They're still able to take down a good chunk of the HP from the variant. And now they're going to just continue protecting this camp. But now Tonley does go in. They do have the taunt. Code Monkey gets thrown to the back of the wall. Leap of faith used. But Code Monkey is so low, getting taken down. Hunter Rex comes in for the kill. 0.2 seconds left, and they are able to take this camp. And now Xtrix trying to walk away will use his ability to get away. Now Tonley in the middle of the Cataclysm, burning down, but no kills are going to come through. Level 10s, however, have come through for 30 seconds to Mosh, as the cavalry has spawned. Ogwow. Sorry, I don't know why that ability name just completely disappeared out of my brain. But now they do send 3 members over to the top lane, pushing in. And as a matter of fact, I haven't really noticed this, but a good chunk of this wall is already missing. So this is definitely a good position for them to try and take down a fort. They're already in the process of it. They have 3 members here. They have the cavalry, and this should just be it. First fort is going to go in favor of 30 seconds to Mosh as well. But how much more can they get with this? Oh, the Gust is utilized as level 10 has also been hit by CCS. but it's just going to slow things down. It's not going to prevent it from going down. Now Raka trying to walk forward. Both Raka and Orion are quite low. Grenades get thrown back. As Raka will back down, but the wall is destroyed. Next push is happening in the mid lane, but that one has been cleared out quite a bit faster. They lost the gate and a good chunk of HP on this top cannon tower, but it is definitely going to still stand. Only 1/4 lost. It's not the worst for CCS, but definitely a good advantage for 30 seconds to Mosh. And now if they're able to get the next set of camps as well, it'll definitely make this a lot easier for them. They already have the walls taken down on the bot side. They should be able to secure it on this next exchange, assuming they're able to get it. But the XP lead still isn't that high. So CCS should definitely still be able to fight for it. The pressure, they're going to be struggling a little bit with it on the top side. But a small benefit is that they do have Falstad. Falstad does have frequent flyer. So with that extra cannon minion, as long as the Falstad is there to match it, that actually gives extra damage. And with flight, it's a lot easier to stay near to the objective. However, this time the objective is over towards the top side, which makes it easier to clear for CCS. So the advantage of having that fort is a little bit lessened, but now they do have Code Monkey get thrown into the back. But the swipe is going to get utilized. The taunt over on the Born of Shine as well, but Code Monkey just absolutely goes down. Water Elemental just trying to slow things down on Tonley, but another kill going over for 30 seconds to Mosh. Now Ryan's here, has the laser drill, and that's just going to get focused down and destroyed. The Overpower just kind of dealing damage over top, trying to slow things down, but haven't really been able to get that quite yet. And now the taunt does come through, but Leap of Faith is there. And that's what makes it so hard for them to play. When their strategy is to have that variant taunt combo into Lurking Arm, Leap of Faith just kind of breaks the whole composition even on its own. So I'm just going to take a look at this. Blizzard, Frostbolt, Cone of Cold. It's been a while since I've cast Hot, so I will need to relearn some of these ability names. Now Xtrix trying to trade onto Hunter X, and the boss has actually been started by CCS. But at the same time, the camp is getting started over the top side. Raka finishes the channel. Will they be able to take this boss and then defend, or are they planning on just trading the camp for the boss? It's going to be interesting to see how it works out for them. They should definitely be able to get this for themselves, as there is going to be the Molten Flame coming out over top. Not going to accomplish too much. They still have 18 seconds, but yeah, because they're on bot side, it's going to be too difficult for them to come and defend against this. And they have 4 members there. They're very well set up, so they're definitely going to have to defend against another camp. Now this boss still pretty weak this early on, 630, as Hunter X is going to use the Cataclysm just to clear it out faster. But Xtrix, or Xtrix, I'm actually not sure which one's correct, but regardless, Orion might be getting caught out here a little bit, as they do come out with the Entomb, and Orion is just completely stuck and wailing away, and that's going to be yet another kill for 30 seconds to Mosh. A solid pickup, but not far from Nougat. Very low, actually. Has the Lurking Arm silence, and the Hammerang going to come out over top. And that's going to be the first kill going over for CCS. And not having the tank makes it a lot harder for them to engage. Their only other real engage tool is Entomb, but that was used to pick off Orion. So Xtrix going to be able to clear away this this cavalry pretty much immediately. They will lose their bottom fort, as was kind of expected by losing this camp. But they're not going to lose too much from it. And by taking out this bottom boss, it does open up the map a little bit for them. And they were able to clear out the bottom wall. So definitely still trading slightly at a loss for CCS, but not too terribly at a loss either. It's still relatively even. The XP lead's still very close. Both these teams are basically neck and neck in terms of level, as Orion is going to be left alone to take down this cavalry. Now the horsey's gone, and let's see what everyone else is going to be doing now. So we have the 3 members of CCS over in the mid lane. They are going over towards the top, but the boss has already been started by 30 seconds to Mosh. I don't know if they'll be able to get there in time. Orion is on the way. The Falstad has flight, but it's 5 members strong. Xtrix is starting to move up on the map. We can see it in the mini-map, but will the engage happen? Conley is looking for it. The Earth Shatter does come through. The Water Elemental comes out. The boss is already taken, but Code Monkey taking so much damage, and the Cataclysm over top, and the Blizzard, and everything just used onto Code Monkey, and Code Monkey's gone. Orion with a laser drill trying to work, but with the body blocks, Raka and Hunter X able to take him down. Now Tonley is the last one alive that's still in danger. Light Bomb gonna get utilized, and Tonley thrown to the back and smashed by the garage. Farfanugan gets the last hit, and that's a 3-0 level 16 talents and a boss pushing out onto this top gate. Now Molten Flame gonna get utilized over top. Hunter X in a perfect angle to hit but all parts of this wall. Now they're on to the keep, and it's very big to get the keep early, but now Exric's gonna get thrown out. Hog Wild just barely enough HP to be able to get away safely. And now they are losing their HP onto this keep, and the keep will go down. Now the boss won't be able to end. This is one of those maps where you definitely want to have more, you want at least 2 keeps down before you can try to end. As the core will fully heal after taking damage, and has a lot of bonus armor. The more keeps that it has up and available. Now the next prisoner camp is going to be spawning as the siege camp is getting taken down by the captain. There's a little bit of a push over in the mid lane, and this fort also isn't very healthy. So with another camp, they definitely should be able to take out this middle fort. Level 16 talents now hit by CCS, so they are a level and a half behind now. And I think this is the first time the XP lead has really grown or even really moved away from nothing. But there is a little bit of a pick on Hunter X, has the fear, and the Cataclysm gonna get utilized as well, and just barely enough HP to get away. But now the taunt comes down at Farfanugan. Laser Drill and Gust both utilized, and CCS almost got themselves a pick. But unfortunately, the HP on Hunter X just a little bit too high. They're gonna be able to clear away the mid lane as Hunter X actually goes into the sky and will be able to heal back up and descend later on into this fight. But now Tonley gets thrown into the back line, and the landing is coming through, and the light bomb, but the lurking arm lands onto 3, and they're all kind of blocked. Kotinos is trying to hit onto the back line, trying their hardest, but Tonley and the swipes coming through. Raka is coming through with the Wraithwalk onto Code Monkey. 1, 2, Kotinos is gone. Code Monkey just a little bit of HP, same with Tonley, and they try to drop, but in fact that's the Anduin gone. That's nowhere healer, but Orion is going to be taken down as well, and Exrix will knock them away, but that's still going to be a victory for 30 seconds to Mosh, and Exrix actually getting pulled down a little bit as well. Going to get taken down to about 1/3 HP. And there's even a little bit of a push onto the core, but that's not going to matter too much, but there is a taunt. Ice Block is going to come out with the captain now, but Townley is actually beside the Molten Flames, not taking too much damage, but the Molten Flame does kill the Stukov in the backline. And Tonley going to get taken down here too, and just like that, yet another 2 kills for 30 seconds to Mosh, as they retake the camp and now just have to hold it for 30 seconds. And this should be a breeze for them from here on out, at least in terms of keeping this camp. They have a push in the bot side, they have a push in the top side, and the captain is shoving out the mid lane, and we'll get a decent amount of healing both from the tapping the well and the little bit of a health bar. Water Elemental gonna get spawned as well as the bruiser camp, or sorry, as the siege camp gets taken down with it. And they're going to have level 20 for this push. This could be a good angle for them to potentially try and end the game. Now, the camp has been fully taken. The siege camp has been fully taken. They have everything they need. Level 20s are right on the horizon here. Just 1 or 2 more waves, or even just waiting since they do have a couple forts down. The level 20 towns have come out. And now this fort does not have a lot of HP. Going to be very difficult holding it. But Tonley and Code Monkey just using this fort to kind of buy a little bit of time, thin out the wave before it gets onto their wall. Laser Drill gets thrown out as well, but Raka easily going to take that down with a little bit of help from Hunter X over in the sky. But actually, it is going to be able to take down the siege camp, going to be able to take down the Alterac Pass cannon. And a little bit of damage over on the wall, but the majority of 30 seconds to Mosh, they are grouping over in this bot lane. They're looking to take down this wall and potentially the keep as well. Now the Blizzard gonna get utilized. Very good at taking down structures, but Tonley does get the taunt onto Raka. But now they have landed, but they have the Entomb with the silence. And Blizzard over top, they're taking out 2. Light Bomb gonna get hit onto no one, but Orion is in the back lane. Is gonna go down, and Kotunos gonna get finished off as well. And that's 4 for nothing for 30 seconds to Mosh. And now they're pushing. They have 2 cavalry with them. They have 1 already on the core and 1 on the way. And this should be it. Game number 1 gonna go to 30 seconds to Mosh. As honestly, I think they just won in the draft phase. This is a very difficult draft to play for the variant, and they played the Anduin to perfection from Born to Shine. Very well drafted and very well deserved. And it was 15-2 in terms of kills in the end. But that game was actually pretty neck and neck up until that, I believe it was the third set of Cavalry. Once they got that 3-4-0, they were able to take themselves a boss. They were able to take themselves the a third camp and got a huge push in with it. And I think that's really where they came into their own, and 30 Seconds to Mosh were able to just kind of snowball from there. So huge win for them. And now we're going to go to a short break, but when we come back, it's going to be game 2 between 30 Seconds to Mosh and the Crimson Cyber Squad. Don't go anywhere. And we're back. Time for game number 2 between 30 Seconds to Mosh and Crimson Cyber Squad. Now, game number 1 did go to 30 Seconds to Mosh, but Crimson Cyber Squad once again took the map pick and decided on Dragonshire. It's another very tall, I should call it. It's a very tall map. Kind of like Alterac Pass, it's very vertical. But this one's a little bit more snowbally. Being able to take control in any one lane makes it so much easier to have consistent Dragonites later on. Now the first band has come through. It is going to be that Rhaegar and the Diablo. So it looks like we're just following through the same bands that we've had so far. And I believe it was Muradin and then Joanna, if we do keep the same bands as last game. So hopefully we might see something different, and I'll be honest, I do expect CCS specifically to change their draft a little bit, and with the Stukov ban instead of the Muradin, they're going to have to change their draft whether they want to or not. But yeah, Stukov, always annoying to play into, even when you do have the answers, kind of like they did have last game. That lurking arm, and I will say this, like, when I played back in Div C, I don't even remember how many years ago, 3 years ago? It was easily the most annoying hero for me to play into. It was definitely my biggest tilt hero to play into, and I would always make my captain ban it. But with the Anduin getting banned away, the Joanna is open so far for Nugan, able to take that as their first pick. Now remember, this is a slightly weaker Joanna to what we've seen in the last season. The Blinding Shield build has gotten nerfed a little bit, but it's still a very strong hero. As we see Brightwing and Chromie locked in for Code Monkey and Orion. Definitely a lot more poke potential, a lot more range. Very powerful combination there. As Brightwing does have the cleanse, does have the magic armor. Just overall a very strong healer as well. And with the global potential on Dragonshire, could definitely come out swinging. Now Deckard and Rex are going to get locked in next for Born to Shine and Raka. The Raka going to be rocking the Rexar as I work on my alliteration for this cast. Deckard Cain, very interesting pick as well. I don't know why, but I've always found Deckard Cain to be one of the most aesthetically pleasing healers. Just something about an old guy throwing potions at everyone. I don't know. I just love it. Nazebo getting banned away. A pretty interesting ban. It is a hero that scales well into late game. Does need some time before Nazebo really becomes powerful, but in the end becomes super difficult to burst down, has so much HP, so much mana, and a lot of damage too, especially if you go with the spider build. Now final ban, they're probably looking for a tank or a bruiser or a Lunara. So trying to remove that long range poke that, well, not the long range poke so much as the annoying harassment that comes out of a Lunara. Very annoying to play into as a squishy. Exterk's gonna lock in the Dahaka to match Raka. And now they do still need a flex. And for that, Sylvanas is gonna get locked in. Kotunas gonna be able to do a lot of damage on that. Sylvanas, very powerful hero. And the ultimate is very good in teamfights, regardless of which one you take. Both the Wailing Arrow and the pullback. I forgot what that one's called. I should check. I have not studied my HOTS ability names, and I do apologize for that. And Hanzo going to get locked in by Sub-Zero. And Junkrat locked in for Hunter X. And I did just realize Sub-Zero, I don't believe, played in the last game, so there was a little bit of a substitution. It will take me some time to remember all the player names, but with the amount I'm casting, I have a feeling I will know every single player by name across every division by the end of the season. So, give me time, and it's gonna be a good time. Now Tonley gonna have the last pick. Locked in the Variant in game number 1. Variant is still available, though perhaps not as strong in this composition. And May is going to get locked in for Tunley. But there's so much poke on the side of 30 Seconds to Mosh. And when you're running Hanzo and Junkrat, it really kind of explains the Lunara ban. Lunara is very good at dealing with both of them. But it's going to be difficult for them to be able to approach. Junkrat and Hanzo have so much range. And Joanna is very good at peeling. But this time I do think it's a much more even draft. So it's really just going to come down to execution. as we head into game number 2. And here we are. Map number 2.
Prepare for combat.
The Dragon Shire between Crimson Cyber Squad and 30 seconds to Mosh. Now going to be a little bit of an interesting setup to start. And it's really going to be interesting to see who wins the 1v1 over in this top off lane. I do believe Rexar overall does have more pressure, but Dahaka has so much sustain. So it's going to be interesting to see which one of those two aspects really does come out on top. How much does the individuality play into this? Sometimes the matchup wins itself. Sometimes it really is just a game of pure skill. Now they have scouted them. Both teams just kind of slowly pushing through to the mid lane. And there's a lot of poke from both these teams. Sylvanas is a little bit short range, but Orion with the Dragon's Breath will be able to deal so much damage over top. And then it is Hanzo and Junkrat. So much range on the side of 30 seconds to Mosh. Now the first push does come through for CCS. However, Raka has started off in the top side and is trying to block Xtrix from walking in, but is just going to trade a little bit of the HP to be able to get the XP orbs. Now CCS already pushing in on the bot side. They managed to get the push in, but they're already rotating over towards mid lane. So they are just trying to rotate fast. Kotunas and Code Monkey already getting geared up for the siege camp. Now Black Arrows are going to get utilized here just to make it a little bit easier to take. Realistically, they're not going to be pushing onto any structures anytime soon. And this way you don't have to dodge around between the little siege attacks. Now Xtrix in stasis as Misha gets taken down low, but with the healing coming out from Raka will be okay. As the two tanks are also just in mid lane, just there to soak up. And both siege camps have been taken over on the bot side. Now Sub-Zero gonna dodge away from the Dragon's Breath. I forgot what the Chromie Q is. I should find that out. A Sandblast. Condemned gonna be slightly out of range for that. But they do have themselves the main push coming out on the bot side. But that is because Kotunas and Code Monkey, they decided to focus more on getting this Bruiser camp as fast as possible, as soon as possible. This does give both the shrines over towards 30 seconds to Mosh, but Tunley is here in the mid lane. It's here right on top of the Dragon Knight, so they're definitely not going to be able to take it for themselves. And Tunley in a very good position, just kind of hiding in the bush. Isn't really taking a lot of poke, but has more than enough pressure to prevent this Dragon Knight from going over. Now Tunley got to get poked down to half HP. Goes into the ice block form, and with the shields will be okay. As the Bruiser camp gets finished off. Now Tunley gonna get healed by the phase shift. And with the Blizzard gonna prevent it from getting taken down. And the blind as well. And just Farfanugan trying so hard, but it's just not happening. Xtrix will have a little bit of help on this push now with this Bruiser camp. But so much damage coming out from Raka. Xtrix already at a quarter HP. And this is someone that can heal. But actually, they're able to pressure them out in the mid lane and take the Dragon Knight. So an early Dragon Knight for Farfanugan. And they're just going to be wailing down onto this mid lane tower. And now every member of CCS, well, 3 of the members of CCS are here to start clearing it away. And in fact, might be a little bit dangerous for Farfanugan if they don't start walking away now. They will kick away the Code Monkey. And in fact, first blood coming through to Sub-Zero. Code Monkey a little bit caught out there but on rotation. And part of me really wanted that Dragon Knight punt to be the last hit. But unfortunately, it is going to go over to Sub-Zero. But the Dragon Knight's still alive. 1% HP, but with the little Dragon Flame, they're going to be able to push out mid lane with it and get the push in mid. As they do have first blood and half a level XP lead in their favor. And this cannon tower is also pretty much down. And Hunter X and Sub-Zero should be able to take it down once you get a little bit of pressure in the bot lane. But Code Monkey might get caught by the Condemned. And into the Scroll of Sealing. He does have the Collides, 23 HP. But the blind goes wide. Code Monkey able to stay alive on just 23 HP. But 23 is higher than 0, and that's all that really matters here. On the top side, Xtrix is still continuing to clear a little bit of trading there. But we are going to focus more towards this bot side right now. as the Bruiser camp does get started by Hunter X. This does allow the push to come through over on this bot side, but they're not, instead of contesting, they're going to try and just clearing out the mid lane and getting push in both the lanes. They're prioritizing that right now. The Bruiser camp has been finished off on the bot side. So 30 seconds to Mosh are slowly but surely amassing themselves an XP lead. It's still quite small, but it is definitely noticeable. Just a little bit under half a level. Now the siege camps are getting taken down by both sides. Hunter X taking it for 30 seconds as Kotunos is going to be taking it on the side of Crimson Cyber Squad. Now Tunley looking for the icing, and they're on to Born to Shine, and so much down from the Dragon's Breath, but no follow-up. But that's going to be a lot of HP down. Born to Shine going to have to walk backwards a little bit. They're going to need to take some time, let the Deckard Cain heal up a bit. Deckard Cain's an old man, needs a nap, and he'll be right back when he's rested up. And now the Shrines are going to be back up in 25 seconds. There's a little bit of trading going on the top side between Rock and Xterx, but once again, I'd be really surprised if there are any solo kills up there in the off lane. Gonna have to see once those team fights do start coming into play. Oh, an interesting angle from Farfanugan, but the Concussive Mind not going to be able to blow them back. But the Contempt is going to get stopped, actually. And with the icing, they're able to get onto 2 of their members. And they got the Hanzo. They got Born to Shine. Just a little bit more damage. But they're blocking the way out. They do have the slowing stance coming through. And the siege camps, and just barely enough damage. But now with the Condemn, not going to be enough. And the facial for Tunley. Tunley will be okay, but got taken down quite low as well. And now they have secured themselves the bot side. Shrine Xterx is just double soaking right now, pushing out the mid lane. So they're not going to be able to get themselves the Dragon Knight, but they have closed that XP lead. Now Ryan's starting to run out of mana here. They're not going to have too much poke, but Kopunky does get thrown down. Does have the blink heal, so will be okay. We'll be able to just jump away. And now Xterx gonna take that top shrine. They need to try and hold on to this bottom one. But it does seem like they are going to have to give it away. They have it temporarily, but not enough for Tommy to be able to lock it in. But now the mate has come back. They could try to look for another play. And is it the ice wall? It is the ice wall coming out from Tunley. But now with the blizzard, with the icing. But look at that damage and the stun onto Code Monkey, but able to jump away with the blink heal. As we do have the Dragon Arrow. Sorry, what is this one? Dragon Strike, sorry. Coming through from Sub-Zero. Just going to be a little bit of poke damage. Definitely not enough to do a full combo onto anyone. But Tunley going to start blocking everyone off. They're going to be able to take this back for themselves. However, the Joanna has different plans. Getting hit by the Sand Strikes. But the Root's coming out. And Born to Shine actually taken down quite low. Will have to throw out the Lore Nado. But now Ryan and Tunley still just trying to DPS over the top. The icing going to get interrupted and hit into the Scroll of Sealing. But now Ryan might have been caught just a little bit, but will be okay. They do have both shrines in favor for 30 seconds to Mosh, but it's going to be difficult for them to walk up. Now Tonley is here. Farfanugan is starting to get a little bit low on mana. Condemn will pull Tonley back. Blizzard is going to land on the Hunter X. And just little bit by little bit, CCS is slowly bullying them off. But Born to Shine is keeping them all healthy. They're definitely winning the trades, but the healing is coming out in time. Now they're finally able to push them off. They, with the Dragon's Breath, are even able to deal a little bit of damage over onto the structures, and they'll finally take control of this bottom shrine. But how much can they do with this? They will still need Xterx to take control over the top side, and they will. But then they need to bring stuff in the mid lane, and that's the fun part of this map. You need control everywhere at the same time. Dragon Strike gonna come through with the Blessed Shield as well, but Tonley gonna get healed by Code Monkey. Lornado coming through, and the Ice Wall has landed successfully. Now they need to start looking towards Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero just gonna jump over the wall, but Rock is here now, so it is 4v5 for a little bit. And now Tonley gonna get hit down, gonna get put into the Condemn at 200 HP, and will get taken down. Now Code Monkey is the one that's in danger, but Raka had a very good rotation there, able to turn that into a 4v5. In favor of 30 seconds to Mosh, and with that, they're able to win the fight. It's only one kill, but it's more than enough for them. And they could also start looking towards this Bruiser camp, and that looks exactly like what they're going to do. And in the meanwhile, Raka is now back up into the top side. Misha is just going to take the point, and I completely forgot that's something you could do on Rexar. Just completely bring the bear onto the point and take it that way. Xterx is going to be trading a little bit. There's a little bit of fighting over the bot side as well, as the Bruiser camp has been taken. Concussive Mind not going to be able to land onto anyone quite yet. but they are looking. It's going to go off. Orion gets hit by the trap, and now they have the Dragon Strike and the pull, but goes into stasis. But over top, it still goes down. Now the rocket is going to come through, but Orion not going to go down from that, but Sub-Zero will have more than enough damage. Now Kotunas is starting to run away, gets taken down quite low as well. And there's just not a lot of HP for them here. And with the Rocket Ride, Hunter X may be able to take the Dragon here. But the push is really coming out of the bot side regardless. Xtrix is there to prevent it, but a lot of damage dealt onto this fort. Already at half HP, Condemn will land on the Tunley as well, but it is that tank. But Tunas is going to get healed back up, but the Dragon Knight actually does come through for Raka. Able to get that. Oh, sorry, not for Raka. For, oh, I forgot the Junkrat's name. My bad. But regardless, the Junkrat's going to be pushing through, and they should be able to take this mid fort quite easily. Tunley going to actually get booted behind the team. And could be in a pretty bad situation here. They do have the stuns. And the Unstoppable does come out with the Ice Block. And the Blizzard stunning all four. Tunley able to walk away because of that. Ice Wall going to come through just to push Sub-Zero away. And Tunley will be okay. However, during all this, they are still pushing through this mid lane. With Rock and the Junkrat, they are here. They're using the Dragon's Breath onto the fort. But the Dragon Knight is quite low. Now they're going to push away Xtrix. Xtrix going to get pushed into the team, actually, in stasis as well, but the team's ready for it. Condemn going to get utilized a little bit of damage, and one more auto is going to be all it needs, and the Lornado actually pushing Tunley back into them as well. So an extra kill in their favor. They're going to be able to get the bot fort. Mid fort is still alive, but now it's 5-on-3 on the map. They could definitely look to rotate or just continue pushing over this bot side. They're going to take the siege camp here because it's on the way regardless. But that's going to be an extra win for 30 seconds to Mosh. Now they are slowly poking onto this fort. Not dealing too much damage quite yet, but bit by bit. It just doesn't have a lot of HP left, even if there isn't that much damage. Farfanugan is going to be tanking a little bit from the fort, but this late into the game doesn't matter too much. Hunter X taking a couple hits as well, as the power shots and the autos are coming through, and they're able to get themselves the mid lane fort. So 2 out of the 3 forts are now gone in favor of 30 seconds to Mosh, as Raka is starting to work on this bruiser camp. Born to Shine and Sub-Zero gonna take down their own siege camp, and they could just play it a bit safe now. They do have the advantage. They do have the initial pushes and even a big wave pushing out of the top side. And like I said when we were in draft, one of the big things about Dragonshire is that it is a pretty snowbally map. Once you have the natural push coming out in 1 or 2 lanes, it is so much easier to get the priority onto the Dragon Knight. And even if it doesn't naturally push out, you're able, when you do have your kind of like, I don't even know how to explain it. When a rubber bands, you know how like the waves just kind of bounce between the two teams? It'll bounce further towards CCS. And now Farfanugan looking for a play. Blessed Shield not going to get utilized. Still holding on. Tonley does get the Ice Wall. Blizzard as well. And it does land onto the healer, but not much too much is going to happen over top of that. But the Dragon Strike doing so much damage. And now Sub-Zero trying to run away. Will get healed up just in time. But now Code Monkey's on the wrong side of things. Will use the Polymorph. It is just trying to get away. Code Monkey will be safe. And that's another kill onto a ride and 30 seconds to Mosh with another 4v5 in their favor. They're continuing to look, but Hunter X gonna get blind. Farfanugan trying to body block for Xtrix. But Farfanugan is gonna keep hitting. But now they're fighting back because now it's 4v3. The Condemn does land. Code Monkey, it might be stuck here. Gets blinded as well with the Blinding Shield, but there is no engaging cooldown right now. But Xtrix taking so much damage. Goes into stasis. The Concussive Mine not gonna knock him back. But once again, the HP bar is just favoring 30 seconds to Mosh in these trades. And they're going to be able to take the Bruiser Camp and the Dragon Shrine. And looks like Raka will be picking up the Dragon Knight. So now with all 3 forts now taken down with the help of this Bruiser Camp at the top side, they're going to be able to get a pretty strong push here. It's 13 minutes, and the later we get into the game, the stronger these objectives become. And Xtrix just going to get booted away by Raka, but now there's a little bit of a fight going on the bot side. Tunley trying to use the Ice Wall, but is going to land onto one member, but it doesn't manage to stay alive enough to capitalize on it. But now the Blessed Shield does come down, lands onto 2. They do have the Dragon Strike going out over the top, and look at that damage. And is also keeping Kotunas and Code Monkey away. And with that, they're able to get 1 kill. Code Monkey able to run away, but the Rocket Ride is going to get the snipe, and that's going to be another kill. And just like that, 30 seconds to Mosh. Looking very good. Very solid. Sub-Zero looking for Orion. One auto, but needed just a little bit more damage to finish off Orion. But regardless, it's a 3-4-0. They're level 20. And the Dragon Knight has just been shoving out the mid lane this entire time. Like, the fort is, or not the fort, the keep is gone. The second keep also going to get taken down here. Born to Shine looking for a play onto Orion. And Lord, they will be able to get the stuns onto Orion, but that's mostly just used for zoning. Lord Nado actually going to put Xtrix back into the team. They still have the Dragon Knight for a little bit. Xtrix going to get booted away. But Tunley has the Ice Wall and will be able to get the Dragon Knight in it. So that's going to help buy some time. Now they're trying to clear it out, but Xtrix gets taken out on the top side of this. And now the fight for the game is starting to come through. Misha is tanking over the front line. Will get taken down by the core. Bit by bit. Now Born to Shine tanking as well. The Lornado actually zoning so well. But just a little bit left onto the core. Raka is getting taken down as well. But Born to Shine and Sub-Zero, they're just trying to end the game. And one more auto will do it. And 30 seconds to Mosh get a domination against Crimson Cyber Squad. And what a way to end this game yet again. Once they got that win over in the bot side, it was so easy for 30 seconds to Mosh to hold on to this lead. It is a very solid... It's one of those maps where once you get the lead, it's so easy to keep it, and they were definitely able to do that. But definitely not taking away from being able to maintain it. Because even if it is easier compared to other maps, Crimson Cyber Squad definitely could still have fought back, and they definitely still try to fight back. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough. 30 seconds to Mosh gonna be able to maintain this victory and end their first week with the extra point for the domination, and that's gonna go a long way for them. Now, there will be another cast here in about an hour, but before then, I will be running some sponsored content because today's stream is sponsored by Match Masters, the competitive Match 3